Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey has been instrumental in helping millions of people, including myself early on in my practice, to get out of debt. But to what expense? Let me explain. Dave Ramsey is typically for the majority of the people out there that live paycheck to paycheck, have little to no financial education, just like most doctors and dentists. Why? Because we're constantly taking all this classes and school and education to learn how to treat patients. So we don't have time to learn about our money. And in the back of our heads, we're thinking, well, we have all this student loan debt, yet we're going to get out and make good money. So I don't really have to worry about money because like society thinks all doctors are rich, right? But let me tell you how I changed my perspective and changed my thinking about money. I was born into a household that money was scarce, money was limited. We had to hold on. We had to save. We had to save our money. We couldn't afford this or that. We had to save. We had to scrimp. We had to penny pinch. We had to coupons, all that kind of stuff. So for the first 20, 30 years, that's all I heard. I got out, started making good money after dental school. But in the back of my mind, I still had that mentality. And I listened to Dave Ramsey, who basically said, do not do any debt. Things like this, liabilities like your truck, I don't know if I know about you, but the house is definitely a liability. Why? Because liabilities take money out of your pocket. Assets put money in your pocket. So I was under the impression that, hey, go through your entire life paying cash for everything, like Dave Ramsey said, and just like vehicles. So here's how I changed. Let me give you an example. When I used to drive vehicles and pay cash for them, the thought was, and it's a great feeling. I'm riding around in a paid for vehicle and I don't have any car payments. Great feeling to have. When I started listening to other people, because I think it's important to get other people's perspective, like Robert Kiyosaki, Grant Cardone, other people. And then once you hear other people's opinions, then you can make your own opinion based on your situation. I don't recommend you listen to anybody for anything, whether it's about dieting, nutrition, health, wealth, parenting, finances, or whatever. So when I started listening to these other people, I realized that there was multiple ways to skin a cat. And what I mean by that is I was focusing on me. I was focusing on me to pay for my liabilities. I don't have to make any more payments. I don't have any payments on this truck, okay? So I would have that feeling, yet when I change my perspective I have to go treat patients to pay for a vehicle, okay? I have to do it. But what if you change the perspective and you start using OPM? You start using other people's money. Was never taught that in dental school. And what I mean by that, well, you can invest in cash flowing assets that do not only build your wealth, but they're paying for your liabilities. So now it's not that, again, there's no right or wrong answer here. So you have to make the decision. Okay, here's how Jeff used to operate. I would treat patients and I would save my money for, let's talk about a truck. I would save my money for a truck. Whether I'm financing it or not, I'm still kind of financing it because every month I'm having to treat patients, I'm having to pay taxes, then I'm having to save a little bit each month. So for that situation, it may take me a year, it may take me longer than that, but eventually get to the point where I have this money and I can pay for my liability, okay? I've paid for the truck. I'm driving around in a truck that has no payments. I had to do the work to pay for the truck. So now I have a paid for liability that's going down in value. I have a paid for liability that's going down in value. I've spent all that time, instead of investing and doing other things, and spent all that time to pay for it. Okay, that's the Dave Ramsey philosophy because he understands how bad people are with money, including myself back then. Instead, you can go and take out debt to buy an asset such as real estate. I love real estate. You can get real estate. You get other people to pay you money. How do you do that? Well, you get them to pay you rent. And there's other things that you can charge for. The rent is paying for the asset that's going up in value, that's appreciating in value, right? It's going up in value. You can go up in rent every year. That helps keep up with what? Inflation. So now you have something that's paying for your asset that you can turn around and pay for your liability, like a truck. So let's just say the truck is $50,000. So it may take, let's say it takes you 2.5 years of you trading time for money, paying taxes, trading time for money, because time is the most important thing to buy your vehicle, okay? Now, that $50,000 truck, as soon as you drive it off the lot, it's worth 48. When you let your kid borrow it and he scratches it up, now it's worth 45, right? So you've saved up all this money. You have this liability that is going down in value. Instead, you get an asset like real estate to start making payments. What happens? Let's just say it takes 6 years. It takes you 6 years to make payments, but your asset is making the payments. You're not trading time for money. I'm not having to treat patients to pay for this liability. So let's look at what happens at the end of, let's say, 6 years. You have a paid for $50,000 car or truck that's now worth probably, let's say, 30 grand. That's okay, because you're the one that did not have to pay for it. And now look, now you have an asset that your tenants have paid for the last 6 years that is still cash flowing, that's still going up in value. You see how it takes a shift of how to think about money differently? Again, there's no right or wrong way. I encourage you, if you're just starting out, you don't know much about money, pay cash for stuff. Do it. Because until you learn the basics, do that. But then once you start getting like me, a little bit older, and learning more about money, you realize the number one thing, the most important thing, is your time. Your time to spend with your kids, to enjoy the house, to enjoy vacations, to just to chill and enjoy. Because at the end of the day, it's all about your time and the freedom of time. When you first start off working, when I first started off in practicing, I thought, hey, time was all I had. I had plenty of time. But now as I've gotten older and time is starting to diminish, I've realized that time is the most important thing. So the bottom line is this: you can either focus on how Dave Ramsey teaches, and you can pay for your liabilities with your time, energy, and effort, or you can pay for your liabilities with other people's money, using debt, using good debt. I know there's good debt and bad debt, but using good debt instead, and to free up your time. Hope this helps.